Shedeur Sanders made a throw so rare, so elite under pressure that it caught the attention of Patrick Mahomes, a player who sets the standard for quarterback brilliance. The throw wasn't about raw athleticism, it was about mental toughness, processing speed, and the willingness to take the hardest road in the biggest moment. Can a single moment redefine a quarterback's destiny? Or is Shedeur Sanders forever stuck in the shadow of his father's legend? Imagine Patrick Mahomes, the NFL's untouchable star, glued to his phone, rewinding a college highlight that makes him drop a comment so electric it sets the football world ablaze. That wasn't just a play. It was Shedeur Sanders announcing he's more than Deion's son. But with a shocking NFL draft slide, whispers of arrogance, and a legacy that's both a blessing and a curse, the question lingers. Can he rise above the noise and prove he's a franchise quarterback? Shedeur's journey from Jackson State to Colorado to the Cleveland Browns is a roller coaster of jaw-dropping throws, brutal criticism, and unrelenting pressure. Every step, he's carried the weight of Primetime's name while fighting to carve his own. From a game-changing touchdown that stunned Mahomes to anonymous scouts labeling him entitled, his story is packed with drama, doubt, and undeniable talent. Let's break down how Shedeur went from a top 10 prospect to a 5th-round gamble, why the haters won't stop, and whether he's got what it takes to silence them all. Buckle up. This is one wild ride. Growing up as Deion Sanders' son was like living under a spotlight that never dimmed. Shedeur Sanders, born in 2002 in Tyler, Texas, didn't just inherit his dad's athletic genes, he inherited a legacy that could suffocate most kids. Primetime, a Hall of Fame cornerback who redefined NFL swagger, cast a shadow so large it followed Shedeur onto every field. By high school at Trinity Christian, he was already a star, throwing for 3,702 yards and 43 touchdowns as a senior. But every touchdown came with a question. Was he good or just Deion's kid? At Jackson State, where his dad coached, Shedeur answered with 6,963 yards and 70 touchdowns over 2 seasons, snagging the Jerry Rice and Deacon Jones Awards. Yet, the whispers persisted. Some said he only shone because of his father's system, not raw talent. It's been said that being the son of a legend means everyone's waiting for you to fail. To prove greatness isn't genetic. Shedeur carried that pressure, his every move dissected, his every throw a referendum on his worth. That weight shaped him, but it was just the start of a journey that would test him like never before. When Deion Sanders took the helm at Colorado in 2023, Shedeur followed, stepping into a program that had scraped by with a single win the previous season. The Deion experiment split the football world. Some called Coach Prime a visionary. Others bet he'd crash and burn, taking his son with him. Shedeur didn't just survive the spotlight. He thrived, throwing for 3,230 yards and 27 touchdowns in his first season, turning heads in Boulder. By 2024, he elevated further, slinging 4,134 yards and 37 touchdowns, leading the Buffaloes to a 9-4 record. His accuracy and poise under pressure, taking 99 sacks over 2 years, made NFL scouts scribble notes. But it wasn't just stats that set the stage for something bigger. One Saturday in 2024, with the college football world watching, Shedeur delivered a moment that shifted his story from promising to electrifying. The doubters, the ones whispering he was all hype, were about to get a wake-up call. What he did next wasn't just a play. It was a statement, one that even caught the eye of the NFL's biggest star. The Colorado spotlight was bright, but Shedeur was about to make it blinding. Picture a game so intense the air crackles through your screen. Colorado trailing by 4, under 3 minutes left, the crowd's roar deafening. Shedeur Sanders faces a blitz, 6 or 7 defenders charging like a freight train. The safe call is a quick dump-off to keep the drive alive, the kind of play that keeps coaches happy. But Shedeur, Primetime's son, doesn't play safe. He steps up into the pocket, eyes scanning as 250-pound linebackers close in. His primary receivers covered, The secondaries doubled, the safeties lurking deep. Most would toss it away. Not Shedeur. He spots a 2-foot window, 35 yards downfield, between 3 defenders. With a rusher grabbing his jersey, he fires a spiral. Perfectly timed, perfectly placed. Time freezes as the ball sails past outstretched hands, drops beyond the safety, and lands in the receiver's stride for a touchdown. Game over, statement delivered. That throw wasn't just skill, it was guts. The kind that made Patrick Mahomes rewind the clip and comment, "That's how you do it under pressure. Kid's got ice in his veins." That moment didn't just win a game, it put the NFL on notice. As the 2025 NFL Draft loomed, Shedeur Sanders was a name buzzing with potential. Analysts pegged him as a top 10 pick, some even whispering top 3, thanks to his pinpoint accuracy, clutch performances, and 4,134-yard, 37-touchdown 2024 season at Colorado. His ability to absorb 99 sacks over 2 years while still delivering screamed franchise quarterback. The hype was real until the haters crept in. Anonymous NFL coaches and executives started leaking venom, calling him entitled and arrogant. One scout dubbed his combine interview the worst they'd ever seen, citing poor body language and a tendency to blame teammates. Rumors swirled that teams feared the Deion circus. Would Coach Prime's larger-than-life presence disrupt locker rooms? Posts on X echo the divide. Some praise Shedeur's work ethic, others question his attitude. The narrative shifted from his tape to his character, with critics painting him as a kid riding his dad's coattails. It's been said the NFL Draft loves tearing down prospects who don't fit the mold, and Shedeur was their latest target. Despite that Mahomes-endorsed throw, doubts grew louder. The stage was set for a draft night that would leave everyone stunned. Draft night 2025 was a brutal reality check for Shedeur Sanders. Touted as a top 10, even top 3 prospect, his name vanished from the board as rounds ticked by. The Titans grabbed Cam Ward first overall, the Giants took Jackson Dart at 25, and teams like the Steelers and Saints passed. Day 2 dragged with Louisville's Tyler Show and Alabama's Jalen Milroe picked before him. Shockingly, the Cleveland Browns, who took Oregon's Dillon Gabriel at 94, finally called Sanders at 144 in the 5th round, a fall that left analysts stunned. What went wrong? Anonymous scouts tore into his character, branding him entitled and slamming a combine interview they called disastrous for his aloof vibe and tendency to point fingers. His pro day exposed flaws. Great deep throws, but inconsistent short ones, with some questioning his arm strength and Colorado's basic offense. Others whispered about the Deion circus, fearing his dad's larger-than-life presence could unsettle locker rooms. X-posts split hard. Some saw a steal, others a overhyped prospect. Shedeur called it motivation, but the slide burned. Cleveland's bet could make them geniuses or leave them regretting it. Landing in Cleveland as a 5th-round pick, Shedeur Sanders stepped into a quarterback room already packed with Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, and Dillon Gabriel. The Browns, desperate for a spark after years of quarterback woes, took a gamble on a player once projected as a top 10 talent. Early signs are intriguing. Teammates can't stop praising his humility, a sharp contrast to the arrogant label pinned on him pre-draft. In press conferences, he's been quiet, focused, answering questions with a calm confidence that's won over skeptics. The Browns GM called him a pinpoint passer with untapped potential. Seeing shades of Brock Purdy's 7th-round steal for San Francisco. Shedeur's college tape, 4,135 yards, 37 touchdowns, and clutch plays like the Mahomes-endorsed touchdown backs the hype. But whispers persist. Can he handle the NFL's faster defenses? Is his arm strong enough for pro secondaries? Some on X speculate Deion's constant media presence might stir drama, while others see Shedeur as Cleveland's future star. The pressure's on to outshine his draft slot and prove the slide was a mistake. If he delivers, the Browns might have a franchise savior. If not, the doubters will pounce. Shedeur Sanders now faces the NFL's unforgiving spotlight, where one electrifying college throw, praised by Patrick Mahomes himself, won't guarantee stardom. The Cleveland Browns' fifth-round pick carries a chip on his shoulder, fueled by a draft slide that stung deep. His college stats, 4,134 yards and 37 touchdowns in 2024, prove he can sling it. But the NFL's a different beast. Can he thread needles when 300-pound linemen blitz, or will complex defenses expose his average arm strength? Critics still whisper about his entitled attitude, while ex-posts debate if Deion's larger-than-life shadow will help or haunt him. Supporters point to his poise under pressure, enduring 99 sacks while delivering clutch plays. The Browns see a potential steal, but the path ahead is brutal. Competing with Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, and Dylan Gabriel for snaps in a quarterback-hungry city. Rumors swirl about whether he'll adapt to pro schemes or crumble under scrutiny. That Mahomes moment showed he's got ice in his veins. But can he replicate it consistently? The question isn't just if Shedeur's the real deal. It's whether he can turn doubters into believers and carve his own legacy. The NFL's watching, and so are we. Shedeur Sanders' journey is a wild ride of talent, pressure, and relentless scrutiny. From dominating at Jackson State to turning Colorado into a contender with 4,134 yards and 37 touchdowns, he proved he's more than Deion's son. That 2024 touchdown, a 35-yard laser that made Patrick Mahomes pause, showed he's got ice in his veins, a rare blend of guts and precision. Yet, the NFL draft delivered a harsh reality, dropping him to the 5th round amid whispers of arrogance and doubts about his arm. Now with the Browns, Shedeur's early humility and pinpoint passing hint at a steal, but the road ahead is treacherous. Can he outshine a crowded quarterback room and silence critics who see him as overhyped? The NFL doesn't care about your last name or one great play. It demands consistency. Will that Mahomes-endorsed moment be his peak or a preview of greatness? Cleveland's betting on the latter, but only Shedeur can prove them right. What do you think? Can he rise above the noise and become a franchise star? Or will the doubters win? Drop your thoughts below, because Shedeur Sanders' story is just getting started, and the next chapter might shock us all. But what do you think? Is Shedeur Sanders the real deal? Or was this just one viral moment? Does getting the Mahomes stamp of approval change how we should see college QBs? And when your season's on the line, would you rather have the safe decision maker or the gunslinger who bets on himself? Drop your take in the comments.